Frequently asked questions. How to find a good jump group. This may seem a very simple question, but actually is far more complex. I'm going to try and answer it in this video, but at the end I'm going to make a large number of disclaimers. The Discord I would currently recommend for looking at finding a jump project is the Jumper Community Rock Discord, which I will link below. The management of this Discord seem to really care about the projects that they promote, do their best to stop projects clashing, and have a great amount of experience to help project leaders. Now for the disclaimers. It's impossible for me to know if a jump project is truly going to be successful. It's important to remember that all jump projects have a large amount of risk. Some of these risks are very hard for even the best project managers to deal with. The first is no whales. It's very easy to join a jump project and say you're going to be a spender and then not spend. It's a real problem because in the early kingdom you really need some enforcers. You need some people that are going to rush tier 4 and be able to enforce your law and take control. No whales is a huge problem. Alongside no whales is rogue whales, where you have whales sometimes new to the game, sometimes experienced, who want to be king, want to be in control, and are a serious problem as they want to take control of your project, and they're very difficult to deal with if you haven't got the ability to fight them. Lack of R4s or lack of experienced R4s, or people saying they're experienced and really they're not experienced. It's perfectly possible to play Rise of Kingdoms for 2 years and not really know what you're doing. So, time of play, not an indication of experience. Especially if your experience is heavily weighted at the end game. Early game and end game are very different. Some of these very, very large jump projects that we see, it can be a misunderstanding of early game and how the jumper cap now works, because when you last did it, the jumper cap didn't exist, for example. Or you don't understand the sleepers, or you don't understand that you can't make jump projects in late kingdoms because you then tie people to the kingdom you're in. So, watch out for people with high-end game experience but low early game experience, as they're two very different games. Another problem that I've seen before is time zone gaps. This can also be a problem with language, that it's great to be open to all members, but in general, the most successful projects I've been involved in, the overriding language is English. It makes recruitment easier. The next problem can be greed. I, on 2 occasions, have seen projects destroy themselves through sanctum greed, where a very small number of players have got a huge number of sanctum rewards, but due to the people that they removed that were offline at the time to make room for the group that will go around collecting the sanctums, triggered a mutiny within their project. On the reverse of greed is being too kind. I have a real problem with jump groups that can't capture the starting zones that they're in, or make too many alliances in their starting zone, or are unrealistic about people that they are allowing to take, for example, shrines that if you were to look through the alliance, and realistically there are a large number of people in that alliance that are not going to be able to field a tier 4 march, and really is it best for the kingdom what you're doing, and perhaps you should concentrate on the top 4 alliances as opposed to being too kind to those alliances or smaller projects that have failed, and the best thing for them is to fail, which I know may not seem kind, but is kinder in the long run. The last thing I'm going to mention is obviously outright selfish, but then at the same time, I am one of the creators that has spent the most time in the early game. So if you're familiar with what I suggest to do in the early game, or my jumper guide, or my sleeper guide, I would think that it'd be a red flag if they A, aren't aware of me, and B, aren't familiar with the things that I do early game to make powerful accounts. This to me, I think would be a red flag, but perhaps that's just pure arrogance. Thanks for watching.